In the 2011 season, the Cleveland Browns had a real rough one. I'm going to break down what they need to do in the offseason and who they need to draft to turn their 4-12 season around to possibly 8-8 or even better. So check it out. So like I just mentioned, the Cleveland Browns finished 4-12 in the 2011 season. And why do I believe they finished 4-12? Lack of offensive production. They were ranked 24th in pass offense, 28th in rush offense, and I think that was partly due to Peyton Hillis. He was hurt on and off, and he had his whole contract dispute, I believe. He wanted to resign for a better deal. Now, he is a free agent. Out of the 14 unrestricted free agents that they do have, he is the top free agent on their team, and I believe the Cleveland Browns will not re-sign him. They have Montario Hardesty on the roster. He was banged up on and off as well, but I believe he will be the starting running back next season for the Cleveland Browns, and if they do address the running back position in the draft, I believe they will have I'll hit on that in a second, actually, so hold that thought. But draft needs, I believe a huge draft need for them is a wide receiver. Greg Little is a second-round draft pick that they had last year. He was their leading receiver with just a little bit over 700 receiving yards. They have a little bit of Josh Cribbs, a little bit of Muhammad Massaquoi, but they don't really have a premier wide receiver. Running back, I believe, is a draft need with the departure of Peyton Hillis. I don't think they'll re-sign him. Quarterback, I don't know if Colt McCoy can be your franchise quarterback. I'm going to say this, he's average. He's not the best, he's not the worst, he's average, he's in the middle of the road. But I believe if you bring in somebody like Robert Griffin III, I believe he'd be a little bit better option than Colt McCoy is. Offensive line, whether it be a tackle or a guard, I believe you need to protect the quarterback at all times. And linebacker, whether it be outside linebacker or inside linebacker, they were ranked 30th on rush defense. They need to stop the run. They were ranked second on in pass defense. That's very impressive. Their secondary is fairly solid, but the run defense department is god awful. They drafted what's his name? Phil Taylor, defensive tackle last year in the first round. But they need to address that run defense a little bit more, so I believe they will do that. Now, come draft day, they have 2 first-round draft picks. They're drafting 4th overall, and they're drafting 22nd overall. The reason why they're drafting 22nd overall is because of the Julio Jones trade with the Atlanta Falcons in the last draft. So I believe they will address 2 huge needs. If there are no trades, if the Redskins don't trade up with the Rams or Vikings, Dolphins don't do that either, if everybody stays where they're at and the Browns are drafting 4th overall, I believe they will go with Robert Griffin III, address that quarterback need, and have him contend for the #1 job with Colt McCoy. Now, come the 22nd overall pick, I believe they will address a wide receiver, and I believe they will draft Alshon Jeffrey. He's a pretty good premier guy. I believe him and Greg Little will be the bright spots at wide receiver if they do draft Alshon Jeffrey. He didn't put up the numbers that some of the other wide receivers did coming out of this draft, but that's because he was banged up for a couple of games. Not a big deal. Now, if for whatever reason Redskins or Dolphins trade up and both Robert Griffin and I believe if Blackman fell to the Browns, he could be a contender for that pick. If Blackman gets drafted by the Rams, Robert Griffin III is gone. Who do they have left at #4? I believe the Browns could go with Trent Richardson at running back. It's a good possibility. They need to fill that need, and he could very well be the starting running back in Cleveland if they do end up drafting him. So those are the needs I think they have. Second, third, 4th round, I believe they should address anything else that I did not mention. Probably linebacker in the 3rd round or in the 2nd round. Considering they have those 2 first-round picks. They'll address the offense with those picks, and in the 2nd round, I believe linebacker is huge. So watch out for the Browns. I mean, they have the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Bengals who all made the playoffs in that division, but I believe they can turn their season around and not finish 4-12, at least have an 8-8 season next year. So that's all I got for the Browns. Keep your heads up. It shouldn't be as bad as it was this year. So let's see what you guys are going to do in the 2012-2013 season.